What's up? What's going on, y'all? So look, a lot of you know that I took a break, right? And it seems longer than it is, but it was really just a month where I haven't went live. What I've noticed, because I actually still have like an alt account and stuff like that on TikTok. So I'll periodically go into TikTok, turn on the live stream and tune in a little bit, but then I would find myself clicking out immediately. One, because the repetitive lies are annoying. And it's almost like the Muslim world, in this debate world, the fan base and the Dawah team, they're all just collectively coming up with deceptive lies to push to the masses. Now, they know that their followers don't really do full-blown studies, so they could just come and say whatever they want, and then their followers in the audience will still be cheering them on, which is not a good thing to have for a fan base, because then you just start saying whatever you want over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then you just get caught up on clips lying and saying you said something that you didn't say, as we all see happening in the Dawah scene today. Now, I want to take it back to like 2020, right? In 2020, the Dawah scene was not even like this, what we see today, right? Blatant deception, just like, my goodness, you don't even want to try to analyze what you said. You just said it, and it is what it is. You're going to try to create more lies around what you said. They used to at least argue for specific things, but now that they realize that the Islamic dilemma and some of these other arguments are really, really strong, and we're now coming out, Christians are now coming out with like more thought-provoking questions and being more stronger with our debate style, and our stuff is airtight. I'm not saying every single thing, every single argument that a Christian presents is airtight, but when it comes down to Christianity versus Islam, Christianity is just the airtight winner, period. It doesn't it's just a fact. I'm not even trying to be biased. If you put Christianity and Islam in the same boat, Christianity will come out the victor every single time. Islam is just simply, there's no possible way that Islam can be true, because Islam is trying to bank itself off of what Christianity actually is. It is completely void of its own history that it's trying to attach itself to. That literally makes no sense. So that's what I mean by no matter what, Christianity is going to win. Now, here's how a lot of Muslims try to get around it, is that they come up with lies instead of trying to figure out the truth. And when you spend all of your time trying to come up with a lie instead of figuring out the truth, all you have is lies. That's it. And I feel like this whole reward system within Islam is part of it, right? You get rewards, and you see Muslims in the comment section, may Allah reward you, and this and that. I think that plays a part in it, because when you're doing stuff for a reward, you start to, the motivation isn't like your own. It's because you're gonna get something, right? It's not that, hey, I want to do this because I actually genuinely care. And I think that's probably why I get mad faster than logic. Let me say that, because I do have a high level of patience, but there's a cap. But I think that's why I get mad, is because I'm actually serious about this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, and I tell people all the time, like, I don't clip my stuff. My live streams usually go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm genuinely trying to talk to you. I'm genuinely trying to tell you, look, bro, this what you following ain't true, especially when you're trying to put it over Christianity. Islam just ain't it. Now, I think that when it comes to Muslims and that reward, that's the problem. It's like commission. You guys ever worked a commission job, or somebody who worked a commission job? Some people get paid commission just to bring people through the door. You just come on in. And that person gonna get like 15, 20 bucks just for bringing that person in through the door. Why? Because now that person is a potential candidate for whatever it is that they're selling, right? So what happens is if that person is really just trying to make some money, he is not about to care about telling you 100% the truth. He might sprinkle a little bit of the truth in there, and then the rest is just a simple lie. But you never know. Why? Because you heard a little bit of the truth and you said, okay, you know what? Yeah, let me go ahead and pull up. There it is. Now that person got you in the door. And now he's gone. Then now that person has to go figure out and find out that person lied to him. And that person may not find that out for years. He might go to whatever that person got him into and be in there for 5, 6 years, and then just get filled with more and more and more and more lies, to the point where that original lie that you were told to get you into the door, you gotta filter out all the other lies that everybody else been telling you just before you get to the source and be like, dang, man, before I even got in here, I was told a lie. And that's my problem with Islam, is that it starts off with a lie. We have Muslims that come up to us all the time getting got by these dawah guys, saying they took their shahada and this and this and that. And then we ask them, like, why are you a Muslim? And they can barely even explain why. Some of the most basic reasons: perfect preservation, one God, they believe in all the prophets. Did you even look into that? Did you even study that? And why on earth would that be a reason why you would convert to a religion? Somebody said they believe in one God. So what? You know how many people in other religions say that? Oh, but because a Muslim came and told you that he's sitting at a dawah booth and you don't have no religion and you're struggling within yourself, you want to convert because somebody said, oh, Muhammad said believe in one God? And then once I love how on some of these videos and these dawah tables, when you're watching them, you can see that they love them some unknowledgeable people. They love them. Because then they just start lying about Christianity like crazy. Oh yeah, I used to, because when they're at the table, some of them be like, yeah, I used to be a Christian, or, I grew up in the church and stuff like that. Man, some turn on and they switch, start firing off a bunch of lies about Christianity. The Bible is corrupted, it's been altered, it's been changed. Who's Matthew, who's Mark, who's John, who's Luke, who's that? They start hitting them with some of the most basic dawah scripts ever. And it's sad because when you can sit back and watch the basic dawah script work, it's just like, what is this? These people need to study. Watch some videos, study before you convert. Like even if you talked to a Muslim and you didn't know what world he was talking about, still go study. Go study after. Don't be like, yeah, man, what he told me was fire. Let me get his number and I'm only going to talk to him. And you just let him tell you everything. You don't study. You go take your shahada and then you go live your daily life. Then you run into somebody like God Logic or me on the internet. And you realize, man, that dude lied to me 5 years ago. He off, gone. He probably done got to 10, 20 other people converted off this lie. Why? Because let's just be honest, that weak dawah script works. It does. It's mind blowing to me. And maybe that's just because I know the deceptive, reasoning behind it. But it works to the unknowledgeable. It just does. And that's one of my main problems with Islam, is that it seeks out the ignorant. It seeks out the ignorant, man. A lot of these people coming up to us telling us they converted, man, they are very ignorant about everything, Christianity and Islam. But somehow they chose Islam. Why? Because Islam is presented to them in some of the most simplest ways possible. Very simple. So they think, oh, I mean, yeah, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? One God, perfect preservation, I believe in all the prophets. I don't got to leave Jesus. I'm good. We got to take a step back here and realize that everything isn't about a gotcha moment. Everything isn't about a clip. Everything isn't about a live stream. Everything isn't about I'm going to go on live and I'm going to talk to some of the most ignorant people that I possibly can and get a laugh out of, everybody, including myself, for satisfaction. Like, this stuff is actually serious, and a lot of the cope mechanism behind, like, blind and brainwash people is to laugh it off. Because if you let it get to you, it becomes very, very sad. I mean, I just got done speaking to a little young dude after my break, and it was sad talking to him, man, because he had a zeal for his religion. He wanted to debate. He wanted to go back and forth with me, but he was just very much deceived. And it was so sad talking to him because he was hitting me with the basic Dawah script. Everything's corrupted, therefore Islam is true. Islam is true because Islam is true. All roads lead to Islam being true. There's nothing that you can tell a Muslim that would, convince them that Islam is false, because even if Islam says, hey man, right now, these little curtains right here, the Quran says that these curtains are blue. You come here and you show them, hey, those curtains are white. The Muslim will still say the Quran is true, even though it just made a false statement. But why? Why is that? Why is the mentality of the Muslims is to just say that the Quran is true no matter what? You're going to tell me what the Quran says. I'm going to show you that that's not true, and somehow the Quran is still true. Now, that example ties into Muhammad being in the Bible. How on earth could Muhammad be in the Bible without you stripping out and ripping out all the context of the Bible, ripping out the God of the Bible, ripping out the understanding of the prophets, ripping out everything that has to do with the Bible, just to go to a passage and say, look, there go Muhammad right there. Then when I go read something else in the Bible, you tell me, nah, the Bible's corrupted, it's untrustworthy. Deception. The same place you just took me, I can't use it, but you can only use it. Only you can use it. That's deception. What are we doing here? The Islamic dilemma all over the Quran. The Quran talks about the Torah and the Injil. Their God believes that it's theirs. I sent down these books. Believe in them, unless you will go astray. It literally says you can't be successful and rightfully guided in the eyes of Allah unless you believe in those books. What do Muslims tell you? Oh, well, believe in the Quran. That's basically what it's saying. Believe in the Quran, and believe in some of the Torah and the Injil. Some of what's only true of the Torah and Injil. Well, how do we know that? By only filtering out what's in the Quran. Instead of just opening their eyes and saying, dang, bro, if I go to the Torah and the Injil, if I go to the Gospels and I read, this book don't make no sense. Because if I am supposed to believe in this book, and I can't even believe in this book wholeheartedly, I got to filter everything out and use this book as an answer sheet for the books that came before, then now I'm over here walking backwards. Somebody says something perfect. You don't count backwards. You don't do 4, 3, 2, 1. You do 1, 2, 3, 4. Especially if the Quran is trying to be the final revelation, well, it better be in line with what came before from start to finish. That's what would solidify the religion, or else your religion becomes shoddy. You have no foundation, and it's just not trustworthy. That's why I used to run that argument. That argument took off. People like that argument. They start using it as well because it works. It's just true. Thought-provoking questions. This is a very simple religion. So that means that it should be very simple to debunk. And that's why when you ask very simple questions about Islam, like literally, what's the Injil, is the simplest question you could ask a Muslim. And they explode. Their brain explodes. They start getting mad. They start, talking about you, talking down on you and all that. Like, all I'm asking you is what is the book that your God is telling me to believe in, that he believed that he revealed to Jesus? What is that? Where is that? Why is everything outside of the Quran that's pre-Quran missing, distorted, corrupted, or changed? That don't even make no sense. But these guys, and instead of thinking, what do? Well, I like my religion. I like what it teaches. I've been born in it. Muhammad's a true prophet. So I got to make him one. I got to make up something. I got to say something. I got my followers, my Muslim brothers here. If I submit, then what's going to happen after that? They're going to get doubts. They don't want their followers to have doubts. So what they do? Come up with lies. And these are the lies that we have to deal with. And it's just like, when I know you lying, it's like, bro, how many days of this do you want me to deal with this lie? You present me with a lie, I deal with it. And because you got a big following, you done duped all these other people to come in here and follow along with your lie. So now I'm live, and I got 7, 8, 9 different Muslims coming and saying the same thing that you say. Because they think that your lie is true, and they ain't even study it. Then they come in with this I'm always right mentality. So if you come in with the I'm always right mentality, every time you get debunked, you still won. And it's just like, these people have to wake up. That's why we make these videos. That's why I make the videos on Life Rants, because they're short, sweet, to the point, and they're riddled with information where I'm not going back and forth with you about nothing, bro. It is what it is. The whole Muhammad and Aisha thing. Like, when I first found out about that, I thought that was it. That was a wrap. Oh yeah, Islam is cooked. Then I end up, what is a child? Really? Really? You don't know if a 9-year-old is a child, bro? Really? You gonna debate me about a 9-year-old not being a child? You gonna debate me about a 50-something-year-old man marrying a 6-year-old and then saying that your God showed the 6-year-old to him in a dream twice and said, this is your wife? And you gonna debate me about that? Then you see the Muslim followers in the bottom on the chat. Cooked. Oh, he got you. Do you even hear what we debating about? Imagine you got like a little sister or something like, or a little niece or something like that. I'll be babysitting a little 6-year-old girl sometime. Like, when she be coming over sometime, I'll be like, bro, like, you don't even know, like, it's grown Muslims that are advocating that you can be married off to somebody and somebody can consummate the marriage 3 years later. It's just sickening because it's a kid. You know what I mean? Like, it's disgusting. But you got to sit there and listen to them, especially if you want to try to prove your point, because the content may need to or does need to be out there. Because we know content disappears. You know what I mean? You put a video out, next couple of days, people will forget about it. You know? So it's like y'all just like this whole stuff here, bro. Evaluate what's happening. Evaluate what's going on. Keep the good fight. But also remember that you don't always have to just be arguing with people just to argue. You can make your point without having to stress yourself out by going live every day and just having the most random bots, low tier, low IQ people in your headspace every day or every other day. I'm looking for the sincere conversations. And it's funny because when Muslims say I'm looking for sincere conversations, they're actually looking for ignorant people. I'm actually looking for smart people when I say sincere conversations. And it sucks that, TikTok most likely just doesn't have that, frequently. A lot of them are just young bots. A lot of them are old bots. And, sometimes I'll be feeling like these ain't even real people, bro. Like you're not even a real human being, and it sucks, but you still gotta push forward sometimes, but I would say what I learned about the break is that you don't have to talk to everybody. You can get your point across just by making a video. Videos are powerful as well too. Live debates are powerful as well too. But also remember that debating back to back to back to back to back every day, sometimes you get caught up in just wanting to debate. And it ain't even about knowing what's true or what's not. Sometimes it's just about, I want to argue with somebody. Don't be that. Be careful with falling into that trap. Because you already got a lot of people that look at apologetics and they some of them are right. Like apologetics really just collapse into an argument. I just turned on a live stream and I watched an argument, because a lot of people, when you're watching a debate, if you're ignorant, you don't really know what they're talking about. You're just trying to peep who sounds better. Who sounds better? In the apologetic world, when an ignorant person is watching, that's just what it is. I've watched debates where I don't really know too much about the information that they're talking about. And so now I have to sit back, and in my head, I'm also just trying to figure out, well, who's making the better case? Who sounds better? Because at the end of the day, I would still have to go do my research, because the apologist might be bringing in information that's not true. But that false information may have sounded really good to me. And I may have thought that person sounded good. But the whole time he lied. You see what I'm saying? So we have to get it under control and realize it ain't always about just going live and arguing with people. It ain't always about, where's this person at? Why you ain't been live? Why you ain't doing that? I'm still putting in this work. I'm still uploading these videos. Y'all can see me on Life Rants. I do the information, I do the work, and I am like really I'm like honing in on making videos specifically to tackle what the Muslims are trying to do as far as implementing their takeover theology slowly, because it's happening. They're trying to do it. Somebody has to take over. Somebody has to do that. I make those type of videos, while at the same time also exposing their flawed theology too. I still do that. But I can't do that if I'm sitting here going live talking to bots all day, getting frustrated and irritated because I just talked to 13 bots for 3 hours, when I could have just spent 2 hours looking up sources, not arguing with nobody, and spent an hour putting the video together and then upload it. So I think that's kind of what I realized about this short break that I took, which is the live streaming and stuff like that, live stream debates and stuff like that. It's cool. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. But as far as its longevity goes, I think that stuff needs to be done in moderation. And I think the information could be presented a lot better than just daily lives or even weekly lives talking to bots. And I think that's my own personal opinion. Now, I know that other people have other jobs. I'm just saying, for me, I don't think that is what I am called to do. I think what I'm called to do is make my videos. I think that's what I'm really good at. And then periodically I'll pop up on a live and maybe I'll find someone knowledgeable that I can actually have a decent discussion with. But just calling random bots to come talk to me daily, I just can't. That's just not me, bro. That's not me. Any old random weirdo can just come up and talk to me. And then they get to saying weird, crazy stuff all on the live, and you don't know that they finna say it. They just say it. Now you gotta drop them, and you deal with all type of weird characters. People don't know you. They act like they know you. You talk to somebody one time, now you leech. Now you following you everywhere. And this is just what happens when you let random people in your life. It becomes weird. So with that being said, I want to say keep up the good fight. I'm not saying don't do the live streams, because this is a beneficial for other people. I'm just saying, for me, what I've learned about this short break is that, I also can have a lane where I push into more than just the live stream world. And I also noticed too, really quick, the last time I just went live, I think it was a couple of days ago, I literally just went live to do a reaction. But then, you have people in the comments, God bless them, asking me to do debates, debate. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it for you. I'll just debate for you guys. And I get it. That's just the theme that we built up for ourselves, debate. And so they wanted a debate. And, I got a bunch of bots all day and I crashed out. But it's all good, man. It's all good, man. I do enjoy going back and forth. I do enjoy debating sometimes. But, I am slowly getting to that point where, man, the video side, just uploading the videos and letting the bots argue with themselves in the comment section, is a lot better, because a lot of people are also, like, I have a lot of people learning from my videos. Like, I have so many people in my comment sections like, bro, I love these videos, and new sub, I love the way you provide the information, and etc. And that's what I do. That's what I want. I don't want my information being skewed because some bot wants to deny what their religion says for itself. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, I definitely will catch y'all around on some of these lives. But you guys know the main place to find me is Life Rants. All right. That's kind of like my new home, man. You guys will get some lives here and there, but I can't promise that I'm going to jump back into the live stream game. Like, I don't know, man. I just can't. So I love y'all.